Today we're talking about aggravated assault, and specifically the type of aggravated assault that happens when somebody is choked or their breathing or their circulation is cut off. Typically it's around the neck or by covering somebody's mouth. We see this quite often. It's one of the most common versions of aggravated assault that exists. In other videos, I explain the numerous different ways that a regular assault charge can be aggravated, but this is one of the more common ways. So we're going to run through the statute and explain exactly what it means. This is in the same aggravated assault statute as all the others. It's a very big, long statute that's kind of convoluted, but it's 13-1204. As a reminder, we need to review what assault is. So misdemeanor, low-level, non-felony assault can happen in one of three ways. One, there's actual physical injury that occurs. So one person causes physical injury to somebody else. Number two, there's apprehension that imminent physical injury is going to be occurring. So one person doesn't actually injure somebody else, but they put that person in reasonable apprehension that there is going to be physical injury. That's also assault, even though there's no touching. And finally, if there is touching, but there's not actually injury, so if there's touching with an intent to provoke or with an intent to injure or to kind of rile that person up, that can also reach assault. So how do we aggravate this? So how do we take a regular assault and aggravate it up into a felony? That can happen in the statute by choking somebody or by impeding their circulation. So let's look at what that statute says. So it says that, first of all, a person must either do this intentionally or knowingly. So this can't be done through an accident. A person actually has to physically make a concerted effort or take a volitional act to move forward with the rest of the conduct. It has to be done intentionally or knowingly. They need to impede a person's normal breathing or the circulation of their blood. So this means that a person's normal function, their respiratory function or the circulatory function of their blood needs to be impaired. It needs to be impeded in some way. And that can happen by applying pressure to the throat or the neck or by obstructing the nose and the mouth. So typically we'll see what happens in this case is an individual or a couple will get into a fight and there'll be some physical interaction between the two of them, and somebody's hand may go around somebody's neck, either in a defensive posture, so somebody will be lunging at them and they'll put their hands up and it will capture the person's neck. Sometimes things can be more aggressive. Sometimes somebody is actually physically grabbing somebody by the neck, or somebody is covering somebody's mouth. Somebody's screaming and they're covering their mouth and their nose, or they're using a pillow, or they're using some clothes or something along those lines to actually impede a person's breathing. So either their neck is cut off, the circulation through the neck is cut off, or their breathing is cut off through the neck, or something, either a hand or an object is placed over their mouth and their nose so that their breathing is impeded. The law specifically penalizes this quite seriously. It actually turns this into a Class 4 felony. So it's not just a regular misdemeanor assault. Just a simple physical altercation can become an aggravated Class 4 felony just by having some contact around the neck. So the police will often show up when there's been indications of a domestic dispute or something, where they will take pictures of the neck. They'll look for redness, they'll look for scratch marks, they'll look for any indication that there's been something going on around the neck or around the mouth. And they'll take pictures of that and they'll document it into evidence, and then more likely than not, you're going to be charged with aggravated assault. Also important to note, this does require a domestic relationship. So this would occur when there's a romantic or a sexual relationship, or a couple has a child in common, or people are related by blood. So, brothers, or a father and a son. If any of those things happen, it's a domestic relationship. That's part of the elements. So if this happens at a bar, that's not going to be an aggravated assault because it's not a domestic relationship, unless there's some other reason for it to be aggravated. But just simple contact around the neck is not going to be enough. They have to have some sort of domestic relationship in order for this to occur. So it's important to understand that this is a serious charge. It's a Class 4 felony. As a reminder, Class 6 is the lowest level felony that we have in Arizona. Class 2 is the highest. So a Class 4 is kind of right there in the middle. It's an aggravated assault charge. There's a lot that we can do to help people through this process. Of course, these things happen kind of spur of the moment. These things are usually kind of involved in a passionate argument, a dispute. A lot of the times the people who are involved do not want to move forward with these types of charges, and so you can begin working these cases down so that you're not ending up convicted of a felony for aggravated assault, which is obviously quite serious. So if you've been charged with aggravated assault, it involves a neck or a throat or a circulatory issue, give our office a call. We offer free case evaluations. We'll have you come in, we'll sit down, we'll make sure we can review the facts of your case, get an idea of the bigger picture, make sure we have a plan in place to give you the best defense possible so that you're not convicted of an aggravated assault felony. Give us a call. Look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks for watching.